just a minute ago, talking about the Richard angle of it. If you want to pull that tweet up, that was the first one I would have sent you earlier. So he, in typical Richard fashion, does one of those decoding tweets where it's like, well, what is he talking about here? And if you follow this guy and you read his tweets, which I imagine most people in here do, you usually know that it's not always just taken on its face. Most people are taking this one on its face, though. So he said, one of the stupidest things in crypto is when people pretend a coin was founded by someone or secretly supported by someone. It sounds stupid as, yeah, man, Satoshi is actually behind this coin. Telling the truth is better than lying. Tell the truth. Everybody's retweeting it. There you go. Definitively, Richard Hart is not behind pDAI. He has nothing to do with it. There's people just being really weird out there. I guess there's no point really focusing on that. I guess that's what happens during red candles. Like, there's people out there that I believe have created a pDAI conference that are now retweeting this, dunking on it, saying, you know, you were all wrong. So I don't understand the range of emotions. In no way do I take this tweet by Richard at face value. I don't think at all that.
Why?
The people that are out there saying, there you go, you have it. He's definitely referencing pDAI, and he's saying specifically that he has nothing to do with it. He's never had anything to do with it, full stop. I don't believe that. You and I have had this argument before about the pegging theory, it getting to $1, whether or not he'd be involved. And I have said every single time, you can go back to the other streams when we've had the arguments, he will never admit to being behind this because it is a risk. Like, it's not just like, yes, he's somebody who likes to brag when his things do well and retweet, and he's posted the pDAI chart many times. But this is a whole other endeavor. Like, this is something that is never before seen, never before done in crypto. And if you really are going to be like Satoshi in that form of things anyway, you're not going to say like, yep, I did it. Here's what I did, step by step by step. You know, we've even seen the old streams of him where it seems like he's talking about a stable coin on PulseChain, saying, oh, I have some tricks up my sleeve, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's not going to come out and say, like, let me connect the dots for you. Here's what happened. He's never going to do that. So I take this more as like, I still side that he likely has a lot of involvement here, and I don't think the chart is an accident. I don't know what it is specifically, how he's doing any of it. I'm not going to say that. But for people just taking this on face value, like, yep, he's talking about, I think he is referencing what's going on with pDAI. But for people just saying, like, he doesn't have anything to do with it, so why don't you all shut up? I think they're missing it. I just think they're missing it.
So here's my big thing is, you know, for the longest time, we were saying, well, Richard showed the chart many times, but he hasn't brought it up. He hasn't said anything about it. Now that he's now that he's said something not really directly about it, I think he's beating around the bush about it. Now it's like, well, he can't really admit it if he did. So we either take him for face value of what he says and the things that he says, or I just don't think he wouldn't. If it was, he wouldn't have said anything. Like, I think it would have been one of those comments to just let it go and not say anything. I never said I was. I never said I wasn't. You know, this is kind of him saying, stop lying, tell the truth. Because people were saying it's definitely Richard, and that's how I took this whole thing. So, you know, I just find it interesting how, you know, for the longest time we say, well, he hasn't commented on it, he hasn't said anything. That was more thinking that it was him. Now he's saying, well, telling the truth is better than lying, so tell the truth. I don't know.
He quite literally has promoted the chart maybe 7 or 8 times at this point.
Because he likes things that go up. And
right. Well, why hasn't PTGC ever been shown by him? That's done way better that's done fantastic too. I mean, there's many things that he could have shown. He's shown pDAI specifically. Like, name me the other. He's shown the PWBTC one too. Name me the other stuff that he has shown charts of on PulseChain. PulseX, Hex, Inc. What else?
Well,
pDAI. But what else?
These are also forked coins that aren't somebody else's project. So I don't know. I think he also at one point was trying to entice people to come over and say, hey, you might have some DAI. from
Yeah.
Ethereum, get over here and play this game. And I
Yeah.
think that could be another reason why he was showing the chart. Not that it was his, not that it was, but it was a forked token, just like the Bitcoin side, the
True.
Pulse Wrap Bitcoin. Again, no one had control of it, and we all know Richard holds a lot of Bitcoin, whether it was wrapped or not before the fork. Again, who knows? But he's not one to promote something that somebody else made, but he will promote a forked token, I would believe. But I think this is him coming out pretty much saying, listen, guys, this isn't me.
I disagree. Oh, yeah, I agree, but not because it's not him, but because I would never cop to it. I would never admit it. There's too many implications. There's too many things that could happen to you. Plus, we're going to get to the SEC bullshit. Like,
Yeah. The silence is
he's
your best
not dumb.
option in that case, then, I think.
And exactly. And I think he has been. He's shown the chart. That's pretty much it. And the other thing that people are doing, like, I just love how people can make an argument from one thing when the exact same argument can be made from the other side. So he had, until this tweet, he had been silent about the stuff that happened with Maria and selling off yesterday. And somebody said, see, Richard's dead radio silent on this. That means he knows it's a scam and doesn't want to give it any notoriety at all. This guy tweets out scams all the goddamn time, brags about how he has no involvement in them. See, I told you, I warned you. Why wouldn't he be lighting it up with something that's on his own chain that's done however many X's it's done on his own chain that is affecting his entire chain? Like, well, wouldn't he be calling that out left and right and get rid of the bad actors and stuff like that? Instead, he just puts this tweet out there. I'm not going to say.
But would that be considered price manipulation on his own chain while the SEC is actively looking at him?
Which part? What would constitute that? What do you mean?
Telling people that it's a scam.
Well, he calls other things, well, maybe on his own chain, I guess. Yeah, I guess
this is his own chain. So you've got to be careful what you say. He can call shit on Ethereum a scam all day long.
Right.
Without he doesn't control Ethereum, right? He doesn't control those projects. He has nothing to do with it other than being an investor just like everybody else. So yeah, I don't know. I do believe there would be some implications for him to call out something on his chain that somebody could probably come after him for. He's smart. He's careful. He's methodical when he does things. Obviously, he's gotten around a lot of regulation, pretty bulletproof so far, because he knows what to say, what not to say, and there could be more reason for not being very precise about calling anything in particular out when he could say, well, no, that was meant to be something else because he didn't mention it by name.